Monday, June 29th, best setups of the day. So BYND, starting top-down approach. So this it had a very nice move from the 60 lows, just clear uptrend, nice big green candle here, caught momentum, tried to break out above that and failed. So that was that daily pivot, momentum pivot, where it should have got above and stayed above if buyers wanted to remain in control, and it didn't. And then the market got a little weak some prior days, just pulled back a little bit, and it rolled over a little bit. So BYND had gapped down, and there was some news on it today, and there was some news on it last week that made it very interesting. So McDonald's ends BYND, the Beyond Meat Burger trial in Canada. No set plans for a vegetarian option. That was a little bit of a fundamental change that I saw. So, and it got downgraded. So it got the double downgrade, and it was trading lower. So even though the market was a little strong and kind of buy the dip environment, BYND started to really sell off pre-market. So it was showing relative weakness with a little bit of fundamental news change. So that was kind of the key factor, that the potential fundamentals may be changing. Maybe they're not getting as many deals as people thought that they were, or some of their larger clients aren't adding more to their menu, which I think some people may have thought was going to happen and why that growth potential was there. So when it started to sell off, I was thinking, all right, I think that there's a short here. But where could this go? Where could this possibly go? So I looked to the left, and I saw a lot of these candle lows right here was right around 133. So I was thinking, all right, we got 133 support. If that breaks, where could this go to? Right above this candle high right here was 129. There was a gap fill. So now it was about, okay, I have some levels. All right, let's break it down in a shorter time frame. Pre-market data on the left, pre-market data off on the right. Now I take my playbook trades, the opening range break, the momentum scalp short, the momentum scalp long, and the technical level break momentum scalp, and I see, does it have any one of those setups? I like to trade the open, so ideally I'm trying to focus on the open. What does it end up doing? So clear trend down the whole time, pre-market. It started to get a little extended, so I was like, a lot of the move has happened pre-market, but let's wait. Let's see if it sets up. I think that it could possibly get to 129. Just wait for the pattern. We open. First candle's green, right? First candle green, I like that. And then it instantly rejects 134 and starts to roll over. And then this is where it creates a very clean opening range break. So just the pattern, very, very clean. This is about as good as it gets for an opening range break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of consolidation. It created a channel, so it has a clear high around 134, a clear low around 131, and once we break 131, ideally trying to anticipate that, and it cracks the low, that low is 130.80. Once it takes out the low, see you later. Very quick move. And remember, I'm a scalper, so I just take the quick move. So as you can see right off the open, quick opening range break, breaks the low, trying to anticipate that, get follow through for a quick point, 2 points. That's the trade. That's what I'm looking for. Boeing. So Boeing, start with the daily. Boeing had some news that they are going to do their flight testing for the issues that had grounded their 737 MAX, which is potentially good news, because if they figure out the issue, maybe there's a possibility that they get these planes back up in the air. So that was good news. And the market wasn't completely falling apart. So overall, gapping up, Boeing had a big run. So this was a big squeeze, has pulled back, and is now kind of just relaxed. Came back to the previous breakout level, and then there's that good news. Let's break this down on a lower time frame. So clear move higher. It started to leak pre-market, which I was like, I don't really love that. I wanted to see it hold the move. So now it's just about seeing, okay, so what do we do off the open? So Boeing had a quick sell-off. I didn't want to mess with it to the short side, so I avoided it. So it sells off, catches some support, makes a higher low, and this is right here. This is that technical level break momentum scalp that I like. Big move down. Buyers got that entire move back, straight up towards high a day. I don't want to go long because the move from 177s all the way up to just over 181, that was really fast. I want some time to breathe. I want this thing to breathe. So now it's about waiting for a pullback, waiting for some sort of tight pattern, right? The key is I want to see this thing get tight, a little bit of a bull flag, knowing that high of day is 181.67. And then this prior pivot high is 181.54. So what does it do? Big move, pulls back to the moving averages, little bit of a bull flag pattern. Ideally trying to anticipate the break of that high, which is 181.54. Maybe get it 181.20s, 181.30s, risking off that pivot low. So right around 180.60s. So giving it like 60, 70 cents. That's about, because it had big range today, so that's about what just makes sense. Even if I wait a little bit closer to 180, 181.50, maybe giving it 181, so risking that like 50 to 60 cent range. Technical level break, that technical level is 181.67. We get above that, get through it pretty fast. The moment it starts to pick up steam, my stop goes to break even. And once it starts to speed up, so through 182, very quickly gets to 183, tape starts to slow down a bit, I probably would have been out right there. Had I been a bit more patient, also knowing that there is a technical level above, there is pre-market highs. So if I'm really patient, maybe really waiting to try to let that, pre-market highs break, I'm not patient. I like to take the quick move. Through 82, through 83, I would have been out. But there was a technical level, and it did end up getting there and made a pretty weak attempt at breaking it. And the moment the tape slows down, gets below some of those short-term momentum moving averages, I'm out of the trade. I'm out. That's it. So that was BA, that technical level break momentum scout right there. Now, let's go to Tesla. So I didn't have Tesla on watch. I know Tesla on Mondays, the options can be pretty expensive. So unless the setup looks fantastic, I usually avoid it. It's obviously a strong chart. We all know what Tesla's doing. Tesla is very strong. There's no need to continuously keep trying to find shorts on this thing. It's just about letting it catch a little bit of momentum after a weak day. And then I think the long trade is just back on. And I think it's going to continue to be like that for a long time. And especially there's a lot of option flow going off on Tesla. It's pretty far out of the money. There's time behind it, but it's like 1,500 calls, 1,880 calls, far out. So I think there's some big money that also thinks this is going to go higher as well. So just focusing to the long side. Breaking it down on a lower time frame chart, and a little bit of a downtrend, and then at the open sold off, right? Kind of started to bleed out pre-market and then gave it back. And here's an opportunity where, yes, it did create an opening range break to the downside, sold off a little bit, finally consolidated. And then once it cracked this 960 and it went from green to red, it sold off. And that could be a trade. I'm just noticing on Tesla, I don't feel that comfortable shorting it. So it's something that I avoid. And there's so much range on Tesla that even if there's some selling in the morning, a lot of times there can be a setup later on. So waiting for that 30 to 45 minutes plus, and then before you know it, there's a long there too. So the morning high, 970. So what does Tesla do? It sells off, has a nice opening range break, green to red, has really nice follow through. I mean, that's a 10-point follow through to the downside. It's a nice little opening range break to the downside, and then immediately gets bought up. So buyers back in control. That's an insane move. From 950, 20 points straight up. So buyers have clearly taken control. You don't have to be a genius to just look at that chart and go, that dip got bought. Now, what does it do? I don't want to go long at that level because it got there a little too fast. Wait for it to pull back. Wait for some consolidation. Now that's a very clear technical level because that's a double top. So 970 double top, pulls back a little bit. Perfect. Now what's it do in this pullback? It holds up, starts to catch up to the 9 moving average. Right there. A little bit of a flag pattern. Knowing that 970 is the technical level break momentum scout, trying to anticipate the break of 970 just a little bit. And then if it breaks, it should go quick, and looking for a quick follow through. And that's exactly what it does. So here's this little pivot high. And the moment we clear that, trying to get a good entry, maybe 969 and change, knowing that technical level is above, we break 970 and starts to speed up. And the moment that the tape starts to slow down, I'm going to be out. That's just my style. So trying to get in prior to 970 break and taking that quick scalp up to 974, that's a 4-point rip. I'm okay with that. A little bit more patience. Eventually Tesla does get going again. So it's a little bit of a flag pattern, breaks higher, knowing there's a technical level above, pre-market highs above, breaks pre-market, If I have some serious patience to hold, this thing ends up going 10 plus points, which is great. I don't have that kind of patience. Last one, NVAX. Start with the daily. The setup on here was okay, but this is more just showing that there's so much momentum in this market that when you have stocks that are, even if they're crazy extended and they're trading close to all-time highs, they seem to get there. And the all-time high was 86.50. So now just breaking it down on a lower time frame chart, knowing that that big sell-off the prior day did not have follow-through. And this is where NVAX gets interesting. So as a big rip off the low, consolidates, creates that pivot high, right? So here's the high a day, 85.88, nice long period of consolidation, knowing that all-time high is above. So nice period of consolidation, creates a little bit of a high there, a little bit of a high there. The technical level is 85.88. It starts to get tight right there, starts to get tight. The 9 moving average above the 20. 85.75 is about this pivot area right here. Knowing that the high day is 85.88, trying to anticipate that a little bit, maybe get long 85.70s, maybe 85.80. And the moment it clears, this thing is off. And knowing that all-time high is above, trying to hold for that quick momentum pop. And what does it do? It goes right through all-time high and takes an insanely fast rip up to 88. I'm out. That's all I need. 86 to 88 in a couple minutes, 2-point rip with the all-time high break. That's it. But overall, these were the 4 names. I know that there were probably plenty other setups, but these were the 4 main setups that I thought looked pretty good and fit the criteria that I look for. And within my playbook of 4 setups, had some clean setups there. Let me know some of the setups that you traded today and how it went. Stay tuned for that weekly recap video coming at the end of this week. And until next time, later.